Welcome back to everyone. It's late in the afternoon at Oracle Code here in Bangalore. The sun is streaming in through the hotel window, which means my friend Sai and I are absolutely cooking here behind the desk, but not to worry. Welcome to Sai Penamaru. What are you doing here in Oracle Code? What are you talking about?
Yeah, so my favorite topic, Kanar, microservices, DevOps. How do we bring these two things in using Oracle Developer Cloud Services?
Okay. I'm a dinosaur from years gone by, so DevOps is something that's a little bit foreign to me. Can you give me a couple of minutes on what DevOps means, and in particular, for those people who are long-time IT professionals, what does it mean in terms of what changes it might mean for them?
Yeah, so for example, traditionally what happens in any organization, so teams are divided into multiple groups, so developers, operations team, and the DBA team, right? So normally what happens in a big organization, so developers are responsible for creating the code, depending on the business requirement, and they will give it to the operations team to implement and deploy into production. So a lot of the communication gap, and normally you see the general thing saying that, oh, it works in my development environment, I really don't care about production. But the operations guys are make sure that they keep the production stable, right? So there's a lot of communication gap because they use different tools, they use different documentations, and it is also a culture, right? So how do we, this way you can't change anything in production very quickly, right? You take any web portals, shopping portals, they do around 5,000 changes per day. So how it is possible, right? So that's why the DevOps, definitely, it's not only tools, that's a big confusion for many people. They think that you install certain tools and they say we are following DevOps. It's not only tools, it is also a culture, right? Make sure that you talk to, as a developer, you talk to DBA. So that's, I normally take one of the best example is when you start a startup company and you, three of your people, like with your friends, you are developer, DBA, and the operations guy.
And CEO and finances and account manager and everything.
Exactly. So what happens if any issue comes, you all sit together. That never happens in any big ITs or a traditional environment, right? So that way, what is ultimate is how do we bring the changes into production very quickly, right? So that's ultimate. That's where you can make it 5,000 or 10,000 changes in production easily. Yeah.
It's like you say, DevOps being more than tools. It's a bit like I've worked at a lot of companies that say, oh, we're agile. And I say, what do you mean by agile? I go, well, we have a stand-up each morning. And what else? Oh no, that's what we have a stand-up. I was like, well, it's not really agile. It's like, we've got the books, we've got the stickers, but you actually have to embrace it more of a cultural perspective.
So one of the example I can give you, sitting in an office called a Digital Transformation Center, where you see like similar to this table, the team actually sit together, and it's not more than 8 people per project, and all team members are multi-skilled. Right. For example, the DBA can actually manage the VM servers, and the developer actually can do the testing. So it's all multi-skilled. So we have a Scrum Masters, and all the Scrum Masters from the different projects go to one board. They write all the challenges. Right. For example, this Scrum Master has some challenge which is already fixed in a different project. So that Scrum Master say, "I'll help you," and people actually moving, except it's any security projects. Otherwise, it's like helping each other very quickly. Yeah.
It's like I worked at places where that the long-term goal was DevOps and the long-term goal was increased agility, but they knew it would be a journey, and so the first thing they did was they said, let's just make a tester sit with the developers.
Yeah.
And even that small step, the testers become a bit more au fait with how coding processes work. And the best thing there is developers could build something and they go, let's give it immediately to the tester and see what they think.
And also the same point, even developers, they can do actually, I'm not saying the whole testing, functional or performance testing, but they can do actually certain steps, right? So developers also earn the testing knowledge and do it before sending to the testing team. So that way they can save a lot of time.
Okay. And you also talked about microservices today. Does that run hand in hand with DevOps, or can it be it's really just a separate topic altogether?
It's a separate topic altogether, but nowadays what is happening is, just to give an example, See, we all used monolithic applications like, for example, you take any ERP application, which is divided into technology layers like database, application, middleware, desktop. So if you want to fix something, or if something fails at one layer, the entire production comes down, right? So it impacting the business. But when it is same application is built in microservices architecture, if something happens to particular module, you can actually fix that particular module, and rest of the application is up and running, right? So again, it is normally what happens, like people actually in a DevOps culture, most of the projects they follow microservices architecture. Again, it is an independent topic, but I'm pushing more of use microservices architecture and DevOps in using any cloud, but specifically Oracle Cloud.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd like to change tack a bit now, because with all due respect, if I say the name Sai, people don't say DevOps, they don't say microservices, they say community leader, enthusiastic man about the community. What's coming up in the Indian geography area in terms of community events?
Yeah, there are many events. As you know, AIOG is a single group. We have under eight chapters in 8 cities, and every month we run a small or a big event. Maybe it's something like 20 people, and it goes up to 400 people, right? So that's every month running, depending on the user request. So I encourage all the people to join our meetup and see what is coming. We are not forcing them. If you're really interested to that topic, they can attend. So that's one thing. And also, apart from that, we do our annual event, which is a Sangam, where we actually, it's called a mini open world. I'm not comparing the scale, but the same concept, same structure, and we bring all the people, and you can see. But what is happening is, most of the time we run Sangam in Bangalore and Hyderabad, right? And what about other people, right? So then we started, okay, why don't you start something like a tour? So we call it as Yatra. And
where does the name Yatra come from?
Yatra, in Indian terms, Yatra means tour.
Okay.
So normally what happens, Yatra means all the old people go to the pilgrimage, so they use Yatra, okay? So for example, if you want to go to one particular place, we say that particular place Yatra, right? So we use that Indian word, but the actual concept is take very prime speakers to all the cities, make sure that we balance other cities also. We are not doing the same scale of Sangam, but at least we are satisfying, that communities. Because we can't run Sangam in everywhere, because a lot of challenges. We need to stick to number of attendees. So we see Hyderabad and Bangalore is the best place to run Sangam, but definitely we want to go to every city depending on the user requirement.
Oh, that's incredibly impressive. Just for anyone watching, I'd stress that in your own regions, really focus on whether you call it a meetup or a user group event. Just see if you can focus on getting even small numbers of speakers to localized events. Because the objective is, if you can get close to where customers work, then I think people will share their experiences more, and they're more happy to network. So, although speaking of networking, one of the things I've noticed here is there's been hundreds and hundreds of people, but they often stay with their workmates. What advice would you have for people who come to these big events in terms of trying to broaden their networking expertise?
Yeah, I think I was actually pushing a number of times, even in my session. I think these type of conferences are very important. There's a lot of hard work from marketing, a lot of money. You're coming from different countries. It's like so many things, right? But very important thing is, it's not only attending sessions, getting the knowledge, but this is a place where you can actually talk to new people, right? That way you build a community. So we always suggest stick with a stranger and introduce them. That's why all these ID cards are given, right? So you have your name and the company name, right? And plenty of advantages. I don't want to talk in front of camera, but there are many advantages. For example, if you want to change job, you can directly talk to the person, right? And see if any openings are there, and or ask him, what is your company doing in that particular, are you using 19C? There are many things we can talk. But if you're sitting with your colleagues, you know about your projects.
You know what versions we're using.
You know everything.
We know everything, yes.
So what you're going to get. And again, if you miss this particular conference, you can't get the same conference next year. You're losing 365 days, right? So we respect the hardware behind the scenes. That's number one. And also use this opportunity, because if you miss today, you can't meet again.
And that's like one of the big things I like about Twitter. And don't get me wrong, I'm fairly cynical sometimes about the value of Twitter, but one thing it is it effectively does a preliminary introduction.
Yeah.
If you're on Twitter and you follow people, then when you see them at a conference, you don't feel like a bit weird. You don't feel like walking up to someone just totally cold and going, hi. If you follow them on Twitter, you can go, you're Sai. I'm Connor. We follow each other on Twitter, and it's a great way of starting a conversation, as opposed to just going, who are you, and checking your ID badge.
Yes.
So Twitter's good at breaking the ice and making that first conversation.
I think the technology basically helped us in many ways of connection. So in India, most of the time, I think most of the guys use Facebook.
Not yesterday they didn't. Not yesterday they didn't.
Yeah, so we use Facebook. We have around 10,000 followers. But again, as you mentioned, Twitter is the right platform to connect and see, like, even if you want to connect offline and you see the hashtag Oracle code, and you can find these people. I saw this guy. Oh, he works for this company.
Yeah.
Let me connect again. Let me follow him, right? So this is a channel. Use the channel. Use the tools.
That's
Yeah.
good. So when's the Yatra tour start? Is that
So Yatra is coming in July, so don't miss Yatra. So we are starting from Chennai, we are going up to Gurgaon, and this year also we want to go to Calcutta. It depends on your interest and venues and logistics, but please let us know through Facebook or any other, or if you want to go to any new place, please let us know. We will help you. So we are starting in July 13th. And it goes up to a non-stop yatra. Again, if you want to speak, and this is the best place to test number of things, you can share, right? If you want to test your energy levels, if you want to test your technical skills, Yatra is the best place.
I'll do a personal vouching for Yatra. This year will be my third or fourth. I'm not sure, third Yatra maybe. And it's the relationships and friendships you make either as an attendee or a speaker or even as a volunteer and organizer in any of these cities. They follow you around for life. We did a lot of fun videoing on a bus last year, but it's a great way of improving not just your networking skills, but also just making some great friends and some great relationships. So if you're in India, keep an eye out for the AIOUG promotional emails and the like. They'll tell you where all the tours coming on. I'll be on it there, and so will a number of other speakers from Oracle and around the world. So I will say one last into camera before I thank Sai is people should be aware that this is a man that runs the community not in India, not from India, but Sai lives in the UK. So, so to run a user group with a group of very, very energetic volunteers from another continent is something special. So this is the man, the myth, the legend. Thank you very much.
But I want to close the comments again.
Here we go.
I'm not the person. We have 35 volunteers, lovely volunteers. I don't want to say volunteers there. I can say the owners of this community. You can see they're like people here. They're standing from the morning. They're not expecting anything. They really enjoy helping the community. So if you want to join our community, please reach out to us, and you'll see a lot of things coming in community. So thanks.
Thank you for your time, Sai.
Yeah.
We've got a few more interviews to round out the day, so stay tuned on Twitter or Periscope or wherever you're watching this, or if you're catching the replay on YouTube. So Jim will be back very shortly, and enjoy the rest of the day. We're closing off here for this interview from Oracle Code in Bangalore. Stay tuned on the developer.oracle.com/code website for upcoming events in your region. Bye for now.
Thank you.